Hey friend, thank you for your kind comment, and you know I got you. Let's create some very simple and easy makeup that anyone can do no matter what your skill level is. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ambam. I'm a makeup artist. I do all things makeup, simple, everyday, glam, SFX, creative, you name it. So if you love all things makeup, give me a follow and feel free to grab your stuff and let's do some looks together. And my goal is to bring my passion for makeup and teaching to help you all feel more beautiful. So let's get started. So let's start with perfection. We'll do perfection on one eye and then we'll do fantasy in the other eye, because why not? So let's talk colors and placement and brushes. First, what I love about this palette is you have a variety of nude shades. So you typically want to go in with the lighter ones as a transition shade, and then you'll use the darker ones to build it up. And you can even get kind of a little fancy with the green too. Have fun with it. So we're going to try one of these two. I'm going to start with this one. I might use a little bit of this one to buff it out, but that is kind of the shade range. You want to start always lightest and then go to darkest. That is just me. Everyone has different styles. So if you have a different way you like to do makeup, that's okay. There's nothing wrong when it comes to art. Same with makeup. So we're going to do that. Let me show you brushes. Now, I know there's a lot of brushes out there and it can be daunting, but let me break it down for you of what I use and what I would suggest to help make it easier for you to start. First, you want to have a big fluffy brush, just to give you an idea size-wise. And this is going to help you with blending colors, and you can build it up little by little so it's a little bit less daunting. Then we have a mid fluffy brush, which is a little denser, a little shorter, and that could be for colors that are a little darker, and you can pat them in and then use this fluffy brush to blend it all together. And then we have our pencil brush, which is smallest, that can help near the lash line either above or below. So let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll show you how we can use these brushes, and we're going to use our lovely Perfection palette. First, I went in with the Alora Cosmetics concealer to prime my eyes. Next, we're taking the fluffy brush, and this is with the brown, which is Naturally You, and then we're going to go ahead and put that in the crease. So you can do patting motions or tapping, however you want to say it, or you could do little circles. So whatever you feel comfortable with, I'm going to do little circles. And this is super pigmented, but I like the lighter starting out because then it's a little bit less scary. I know there's some creators that will go very bold colors, and if you're a beginner, that could be a little scary. And then once you have too much pigment, sometimes it's hard to blend it. Next, we're going to go in with our mid fluffy brush in Flawlessly Fierce, which is the next shade up in the browns. Now on this, we're going to go to about here. So we're not going to go too far up. That first brown is our transition shade. And we don't want it to be too dark here because then it's going to make our eyes not look as bright. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the lash line, and then I'm going to do tapping motions going up to the desired place that I want it. And I'm actually, I think, good right about there. Then we're going to go back in with our fluffy brush, and then we're going to buff that and blend that into the first shade. Step 3, I took our pencil brush and I went into Dark and Lavish, which is the darkest brown. Now we're going to go ahead and just do tapping just like the last one, but more towards the lash line. And then this is where you can decide how dramatic you want it to be. So I'm going to go just a little bit further up, and then you can always build. So you can start with a little bit, and then if you feel like it's not enough, then you just tap, 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 and then blend, blend, blend. So see, I'm always going back to my blending brush to help blend it all together. Now we're going to go into our Dazzling Shimmer Shadows, which is this row right here, and we're going to pick one. So let's go and pick Champagne Dreams. That color has been calling me. So what I'm going to do is just take my fluffy brush. I have a new one because I don't want it to be mixed with the brown, and I'm just tapping it into the pan. And then you're going to just lightly tap your lid where you want the shadow. So if you just tap with a brush like this, you get just this beautiful light glittery effect. Now, if you want to go a little extra or a little more drama, you can tap it with your finger. Do y'all see the pigment? Oh my gosh. And then you just press it onto the eyes. See how it gives the foil type of effect. So you can choose how much shimmer and glam that you want. And then say if you're like, ooh, I just feel like I went a little too harsh on the edge, then take your same brush and then you can buff it and blend it in. So what do y'all think? All right, now let's do the other eye, and we're gonna do Fantasy. Now let's use Fantasy. Now, if you wanted to use this palette to create a similar look as this eye, you could do the same technique. Start with the lightest and work your way darker and build it up however you want, and then add your dazzling shimmer shadow on the lid. But we're gonna do something a little different for this eye. We're gonna do more of a smoky eye, and then we'll add the shimmer on the center of the lid. One of my favorites, if you have hooded eyes or any eye shape, but hooded eyes especially, this is such an easy and simple look. So let's get into it. Starting with the lightest pink, Rose's Realm. Using our fluffy brush, we're gonna go ahead and go across the crease and build that up. Then we're gonna go into the next shade, which is Wild Rose, and we're gonna go just a little bit below that. This part I'm gonna tap initially and then blend into the top pink, but I'm not gonna go too high because I don't want it to get too dark. That's one thing that you wanna be careful with when doing smoky eyes. You wanna keep the dark closest to the lash line. So see how already it's looking gorgeous. Now, if you're happy at this step, you can stop. You don't have to go to another level, but of course, you know I'm extra. So we're gonna do Mystic Mauve towards the lash line, but we're going to keep it just towards the lash line, just about there. I'm not gonna go any higher, and just build that towards the lash line. Then take my fluffy brush, and you got it, blend, blend, blend. So then once you have everything all blended in, you have this beautiful pink. You're gonna pick a shade. I'm gonna do Starlit Rose, and I'm just gonna use my finger this time. Because we have darker shades, I want a little more pigment payoff, but I'm gonna focus on the center of the eye because that's where I want the highlight, or I want the attention. So I'm just gonna press with my finger, and then once I have it where I want it, then I'm gonna take my other fluffy brush that I use for the shimmer, and then I'm just gonna blend the edges. So here are two very simple and easy eye looks. We have just a beautiful smoky champagne-y look, and then we have this beautiful pink smoky eye. So check out Alora Cosmetics, use code Ambam to save, and you've got to get your hands on these two palettes, Fantasy and Perfection. Check them out and let me know in the comments, what do you want to see next?